Has India's World Cup glory of 2011 come under some kind of cloud? These questions are being raised in Sri Lanka, where there is a major move to find out from certain key players who are associated with that match as to what really happened. Sri Lanka has ordered a criminal probe into allegations the 2011 Cricket World Cup final was sold to India. This criminal investigation is being handled by the Independent Special Investigation Unit on Sports-related offences in Sri Lanka. Please remember that in 2019, Sri Lanka was the first country in South Asia to criminalise match fixing and under a special category of sports-related fraud. So this entire thing is being handled under that category and by a special unit. What really started it? Well, the former sports minister of Sri Lanka, M. Aluthgamage, he claimed earlier this month that Sri Lanka sold the match to ensure an Indian victory. And to quote him, "I feel I can talk about it now. I'm not connecting players, but some sections were involved," he said. Also remember, Aluthgamage is not just any ordinary person in Sri Lanka. He was the sports minister from 2010 to 15 and is now the state minister for renewable energy and power. So he's well connected, he's in an important position, and as sports minister from 2010 to 15, he obviously saw a lot of what went on there. Of course, these are still allegations. 1996 World Cup winning skipper Arjuna Ranatunga, who's very well known in India and very familiar to a lot of Indians, has also cast doubt on the result, and previously he called for an investigation and those calls were obviously ignored. Aravinda Silva, who was the chief selector at that point in time and a huge name in Sri Lanka cricket, Arjuna Ranatunga and Aravinda Silva, they played together. And there are many fans of Aravinda Silva who loved his style of batting. I'm one of those. So he has been summoned for an interview with the investigators. He went through the processes. He was asked a lot of questions, went on through the day. Now it is the turn of Kumar Sangakkara to have been called. He was the captain of the team. Kumar Sangakkara spent over 8 to 9 hours with this special unit answering a lot of questions as to what typically may have gone wrong, and he has obviously defended his position. Sangakkara said, and I quote him, "I came here to give a statement because of my responsibility to the game and respect for cricket." Sangakkara said after the end of his marathon questioning by detectives, "I hope at the end of this investigation, the truth about the allegations made by the former sports minister will come out." He did not discuss the line of questioning when the press asked him after he was probed. Mahela Jayawardene, the vice captain of that team, has also now been asked to appear, and this questioning is currently going on. A couple of interesting facts about these people. Aravinda Silva was the chief selector. He is already being questioned. Upul Turanga, he was the opener at that time in that match. Upul Turanga scored 2 runs of 20 deliveries, potted around for about half an hour and was then cleaned up. Mahela Jayawardene hit 103, which was massive for a final, and Sangakkara scored 48. Upul Turanga was interviewed by the special unit for over 2 hours, and he followed Aravinda Silva. Sangakkara is also the current MCC chief in London, so he holds a very important post. Besides, Sanga and Mahela Jayawardene, they are legends of not only Sri Lankan cricket, but of international cricket. Massive records to back them up. In that match, on that day, Sangakkara won the toss, elected to bat. Now, that was a skipper's call, but that decision was criticized by the Sri Lankan media after, of course, the match got over, and it's everyone is wiser in hindsight, as they say. But the Sri Lankan media made a point that the team of Sri Lanka was considered to be much better at chasing. Why did they bat first? Sri Lankan cricket has had a bit of a rough time on corruption scandals, which includes claims of match fixing ahead of a 2018 Test match against England. The local cricket board said the ICC was investigating 3 unnamed former players over corruption claims. Makes things a little bit more murky. Also, please remember that after match fixing was made a criminal offence in Sri Lanka, offenders faced fines up to 555,000 USD and up to 10 years in jail. Of course, some experts say that even 10 years in jail is not good enough, it should be 25, which is another matter. I'll take you through what happened in that final. It'll refresh your memory, it'll possibly link you to a few things, and you can think on your own. First of all, there were injury concerns over Muthaiya Muralidharan and Angelo Matthews, which forced the Sri Lanka team to call up Chaminda Vas and Suraj Randev as standbys. So, these were two important players. Muthaiya Muralidharan did play, but he also said later that he was unfit. He couldn't perform, and Angelo Matthews was their star player right through the tournament. He had to sit out. Sri Lanka, very interestingly, made 4 changes and went with a 6-5 combination, 6 batters and 5 bowlers. So for a team to make 4 changes in a final, while it is the captain's call and the selector's call at that point in time, obviously it has got certain things to do with the conditions of the pitch, the playing conditions, and obviously they were hit by injuries. That is what they are saying. Kapu Gedra came in place of Chamara Silva, Suraj Randev for Ajanta Mendes, Kulasekhara for Rangana Herat, and Thisara Pereira for Angelo Matthews. Now, Angelo's not playing that match was a huge blow, but he was injured. Now, when it comes to the toss, there was a controversy, and I'll take you through it. The controversy developed when Sangakkara called the toss. The toss came up heads, but the match referee, Jeff Crow, did not hear the call, so he asked for a retoss. Now, Dhoni threw the coin again as captain. Sangakkara again called heads, and the coin fell Sri Lanka's way. Replays of the toss indicate that Sangakkara called heads the first time as well. And the call is audible to producers of the host broadcasters ESPN and Star Sports. Sangakkara, of course, recently said that after winning the toss, that was the best thing to do, and it takes the pressure of a team which bats first, and there was no need to chase. That's his opinion as a captain. Now, what happened afterwards? Then Sports Minister Aluthgamage, who's all the time he's been stirring the pot and he has been making certain allegations. He says he did not want to disclose the plot at the time, saying some cricket officials purchased car companies and started new businesses after the team's loss. That is a very serious allegation. So he says that they started new businesses and purchased car companies. He also alleged that an Indian newspaper knew about the changes, those 4 changes, even before the Sri Lankan authorities announced them. Very interesting. He says, I wrote to the ICC in 2012 regarding this matter, yet they failed to respond. The current sports minister has obviously ordered this investigation. There are a couple of other factors. I'll take you through them quickly. International cricket in Sri Lanka has previously been linked to corruption allegations. Some players have come under a cloud over match fixing. That's a separate matter which is being probed. The Sri Lankan Cricket Board said the ICC was investigating 3 unnamed former players over corruption claims. Now, what is the immediate hook? Everything has a hook in life. What is the immediate hook? The immediate hook is that parliamentary elections are to be held in Sri Lanka this August, the 5th of August. So that's a pretty big deal there. Mahela Jayawardene tweeted, is the election around the corner? No wonder the circus has started. So somebody wants to stir something up, according to Mahela. He's obviously implying, and the election is a massive hook. So we'll have to wait and see how this entire thing unravels. My take on this is pretty simple. It will be very difficult to prove after 9 years that the World Cup 2011 was fixed. Please remember, there's a massive prestige to the 2011 World Cup because in Sachin Tendulkar's career, that was one of the great moments of glory. And it was a fantastic win, which we all saw at the Wankhede, and Dhoni's last ball 6. It's truly awesome. It's part of history, and Indians loved it. After 1983, this was the second time India did it. Second point is, Sri Lanka has criminalized match fixing with strong punitive measures, so it has given it more teeth. This is a debate which is going on between the ICC and the BCCI to some extent here as to what can be done to make a similar change in India? Can we criminalize match fixing, bring in more laws with better teeth and deterrence built in? What about the Indian angle? What would be expected of BCCI? How will the ICC react? What will it do? So while there is a lot of chatter happening between ICC and BCCI, the important part is how will this basically unravel? I really doubt anything will come out of it. Of course, we'll have to wait and see what the final outcome will be. But like Mahela said, because of the elections, is this just a circus? Think about it.